Are you excited to see the camera? He's coming right back. He's outside. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Are we losing daylight? Yeah. Can you say, welcome to today's video. I'm Sindel and I'm Jody. Yeah. We're losing daylight way too fast because I had to peel myself out of bed like you peel gum off your shoe. But we're here. Yeah, and we're ready now. Okay. So it's obviously the day after last night, and I'm pretty exhausted since I was up late. There's Lukey! Yeah! Alright, so Micah made it home, and the kids can go hang out with him, and I can talk to you guys a lot easier right now. And I'm gonna need to talk quick, because I'm losing daylight really fast. I just wanted to say those words from last night, 10 steps in, 100 miles out, have been weighing on me really heavily. So an official start to this video, welcome. If you didn't hear that, I'm Jody. And if you're new to this channel, I share our family vlogs, some mommy videos like this one, and some product reviews from time to time. So if you're new, please consider subscribing, become part of the family. Now let's get to what I wanted to talk to you about today. I had to take notes because that's just how I work. And so I'm gonna try to not read too much and use them to help me make sure that I say everything that I want to say, because I have a ton to say. So I want to start this video with the reminder that this story involves people that I have not had contact with and I haven't seen them in years. I want to respect them and their feelings, even though I don't know what their feelings may be, and I want to try and come at this in a sensitive and considerate manner. And most of all, I want to be clear that I'm not trying to interfere with anyone's lives in any way. I'm not trying to change things in any way. And I'm not trying to make contact with anyone in any way in these videos, nor do I want anyone making contact for me with anyone because of these videos. I just have things that I want to say, and I want to use my right to free speech and share them, and in hopes that sharing these things can possibly help other mothers that might find themselves in similar shoes, because as I found last night, I didn't think there was anyone else going through what I was going through. It's a very isolating thing, and I found out that there is actually others, and that really gave me the courage to want to share all of these things. I also want to say that when life seems hopeless and dark, remember to stay positive and keep pushing through. To not give up and to trust yourself, and most of all, learn who's going to support you. I also hope that sharing these things can build a community here. I gotta not cry. For those who have any relations to adoption or are just interested in adoption, we all have our own story to tell. And so just a reminder, if you're leaving comments below, be sure to be leaving love and positivity there. So for me, these are things that I learned going through the process that I wish that I would have done something different. And I have regrets, so I hope in sharing them that it can somehow hopefully help others from making the same painful mistakes that I have made. I also want to say that this disclaimer goes for all the videos that I'm talking about. And lastly, this is just my perspective and my opinions, and I'm going to try to keep it as factual and to the point as possible, and hopefully educational, so please don't come knocking down my door with anything I say for any reason at all. So yes, we're here to the point where I finally want to open up and talk about my story. So for a while, this was like a nightmare that I faced every day, every second, and just trying to not shut down from the pain I was feeling from it. So now that I've said those things, we can start the Q&A on Adrian. I want to thank you guys for asking these questions and just being here and listening and sharing. I'm also going to leave the people who ask these questions anonymous because I just want it to stay confidential that way. I just feel like that's the best way to handle it. So the first question was, how old was your daughter when the adoption was final? And she was 4.5. The next one is, how involved was the father in the adoption process? Sindel needed a nurse break, and I'm not sure where I was. How involved was the father in the adoption process? So he was not involved. However, his mother, Adrian's grandmother, wanted to be, but it didn't happen. And I'm still a little unclear why and I'm going to share more about that later on in another video. Next question is, was it an open adoption or a closed adoption? And whose decision was that, you or the adoptive parents? This should be a really simple answer, that it was open and all of ours. However, now that some time has passed, it obviously was not their decision to have it open. This is so hard to do and not just cry. So here just jumps right into the heat of things, and I'm going to share how the day that I told them I wanted them to go forward with the adoption, and so I had asked for both of them to be there, and only my dad showed up, and instead of going before the judge, we went into another room, the attorney and the caseworker, and the attorney said to my dad that he felt, I can't remember his words exactly straight, but he felt like I was making the right decision, putting the right foot forward, had come to my senses, was trying to do the best thing for Adrian, and that I wanted to do adoption with the opportunity for it to be reversible down the road. And the caseworker looked at him and said, "We won't do that." And he said, "That's because you're a meanie." And then she said, "No, we're not." And then he said, "Yes, you are." And then she said, "No, you're not." Then he said, "Yes, you are." And I just kind of looked at my dad and was like, I can't believe this is happening. His face was just, I don't think he was even comprehending what was going on. He did not seem fazed by what they were saying. And I was just like, this is your granddaughter. This is my daughter that these bozos are doing this over. And this was our opportunity to get them out and for us to focus on as a family what we thought would be best for Adrian, not what people that barely knew us did. And I really just wanted them out of our lives. Then at that point, they were like, they won't do that, but I asked for it not to go to mediation at least. They agreed upon that. I don't quite remember everything from there, but I do know when I was leaving there, the caseworker and my dad were aside talking, and I heard her saying that they needed to keep pushing for the mediation and just kind of like telling him what he needed to do next. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be telling him anything. You're done. Your job's over, but whatever. Anyway, so enough of that answer. She really was just trying to keep her hooks and the state involved. So let's move past this one and we can come back to it in another video. The next question is her mannerism like Lucas and Sindel? And she also said, it's so precious with her curly locks. And so I'll show you the photo of what she looks like. So I absolutely love this question because Sindel is a lot like Adrian in the fact that she's super attached to me, always wants to be carried in my space, and loves to cuddle together. And that's pretty awesome. And then the way I feel like her and Lucas are a lot alike is their humor and their silly side, and I even see some of Adrian and Lucas more similarities in their looks, I feel like. The next question is, why don't you have custody of her, and will you? I don't have her because things spiraled out of control, out of my hands in my personal life with my second daughter's father, and I asked my parents for help. I thought that they would share custody, however, time has proven that that wasn't their intentions, and I feel like it would take a miracle for something like that to happen, for me to be able to have her again. My mother would have to be willing to trust me with her, and she actually uses the fact that she can't trust me with her to validate why she doesn't even let me see her, or at least that's what I understand. The next question is does she like trucks, bulldozers, Disney movies, paintings, and puzzles? Yes, she does. She was super into art, and there was one day, I want to share a story here. There was one day where I went to pick her up from daycare, and I was supposed to get her art hanging where all the kids in her class was hanging, and I was like looking for it, and then she shows it to me hanging right next to the girl that was working with them that day, and hers looked so almost identical. It was pretty impressive at how well she had done with the art. She loved reading. I actually taught her to read. We didn't do a ton of puzzles, but she did like them. Her favorite Disney movie was Winnie the Pooh, Heffalump, and she liked Mickey Mouse Clubhouse a lot. And she was really into tractors because my dad was a farmer and obviously drove tractors. The next question was, does she get to see her dad? And it says she looks a lot like you. As far as I know, she doesn't get to see her dad. I have kept in touch with people, and I'm sure they're being honest with me, but then again, I thought other people were being honest with me and they weren't, but I think I can trust them, and that no, she's not having contact with any of them either. And I think that's really important and telling in this story, and I'll probably touch on that again some more. And I do agree, she does look a lot like me. What is her middle name? And that's Taylor, and I picked this because it's a lot like someone else's middle name in her family on her dad's side, and I thought that would be fun to share with her when she got older as to why I picked that for her middle name. And the last question is why did your mother steal your child and go from being her grandmother to her mom? I just have to say, the tangled, twisted webs that have been spun. This video, I imagine, has gotten super long, and I'm just gonna end here instead of kind of answering that question. I feel like I need more time to answer it. I can only feel like it has to do something with her gain, and I can never comprehend her choices. To shun your own child and act like you're doing some great deed of showing them tough love, I don't know, saving another child, looking like a hero. We'll get into this, because this answer does go deeper. So from here, I'm not sure where else to go, other than I'm just gonna work on these videos, and when I get to editing, if they work, they work, and if not, I wanted to end on that I felt like I was supposed to be silenced or maybe just left for dead in a ditch, but I'm not, and I'm alive, and I love my babies, and I've never stopped loving them. They've always been my focus and my world. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.